guys, this is Matt from House of Geeks, and in this video I'm going to run through all of the Dark Eldar HQ choices. I shall be touching on the rules for each HQ, equipment, tactical advice, basically the good points and bad points, and these are my own recommendations, what I've used in games and what I've seen used. By all means, comment on your own views of how you think things should be done for the HQ choices. But this video is going to be all about what I think about the Dark Eldar HQ. I hope you enjoy. Right, starting off, we're going to have the Archon. It comes in at 60 points. He's weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 7, strength 3, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 7, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and a save of 5 up. He has got carbonite armor, so that's his 5 up armor save. He's got a splinter pistol, close combat weapon, and plasma grenades. And for special rules, he has fleet, independent character, night vision, and power from pain. Now, depending on how you want to gear your Archon, I always found that the Archon is basically the Swiss Army knife of your HQ choice. You can basically tailor him really to however you want to play, what style you want to play, how you want to play with your army. I usually run with 2 Archons. I usually have a throwaway Archon. Throwaway Archon will be armed with a webway portal, which is 35 points as part of the arcane war gear. And that is literally all he's armed with. He's just there to accompany a squad, which I will go into later on. And his job is to get that unit to deep strike with their vehicle, and that is it really. He's not my warlord because I imagine he will die pretty sharpish. To be honest, the last game I played with him, he somehow managed to survive. But I think that's because my opponent knew that he was just literally a throwaway character and he didn't have anything decent for him. However, my other Archon that I do use, he is armed with either an Agonizer or a Husk Blade. Because they're both exactly the same points, 25 points each, I can chop and change depending on what opponent I'm facing. The Husk Blade is a strength as a user weapon, AP3, but it has instant death, and the Agonizer is a strength as user, AP3, poison 4+. So you're basically going to be wounding all your monstrous creatures and anything that's over strength 3 on 4s anyway. The thing, if you're going to be using an Agonizer, I would definitely combo that up with a Soul Trap. Soul Trap's 10 points under the Arcane War gear. Basically that is if you're ever in a challenge with a character, so a sergeant from squads or other HQs or anything like that. If you kill it in a challenge, you will gain +1 strength, and it is cumulative, so the more challenges you fight in, the more challenges you win, the harder your guy will get. And basically that will mean that if your Archon is a higher strength than your opponent's toughness, you will be re-rolling your 2 wound rolls, which are poisoned, but you've got to remember your strength must be higher. In a previous edition it used to be the same or higher, but it's now higher. For survivability, I'd give him a Shadow Field, which gives him a 2+ invulnerable save, which is taken obviously whenever you take a wound, but if you fail, you will lose that 2+ invulnerable save for the remainder of the game. But the important thing to remember, what people have been missing out from what I've seen in other videos, is that you lose it at the end of the phase, not straight away. So if you take, say, 20 Marines shoot at you, and say, on average 14 will hit, and out of those 14 another 8 will wound. If you fail 2 of them, it won't be until the end of the turn he loses it, so it won't be like you fail the first 3 and then you you pass the first 3, sorry, and then you fail 1, and then that's it. He doesn't get an invulnerable save. He will get that invulnerable save until the end of that phase, whether it be shooting or close combat. So that's always an important thing to keep in mind of, really. Other than that, I mean, there are some artifacts. I mean, to be honest, if I ever have a spare 20 points, depending on who I play, I sometimes take the. I'm really terrible at pronouncing this, Animus Vitae, which I'll take that on my throwaway character, because when he deep strikes, you can basically throw it, and what it is a range. I believe it's a range 8. I'll just double check through here. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, it is a range of 8 inches. It is strength 4, AP 2. It is assault 1, agonizing, which I'll get into in a minute, and it is 1 use only. So with a range of 8, basically when you're deep striking, you'll never scatter because of webway portal, so you don't have to worry about how far away you are from your opponent. And with a ballistic skill of 7, you are on 1s to hit, so basically 2s followed by 6s, I think, if you fail, which is highly unlikely, but I say highly unlikely because it sometimes does happen. The fact that it's AP2 is basically means it's going to be wounding pretty much everything. It's only strength 4 though, so against guard, tower, things like that, it's going to be really good. The fact that the special rule is agonizing, which basically means that if the thing that you're attacking suffers a wound, it increases the power from pain special rule for the entire army by 1 turn, which is absolutely massive. And if that thing wounds and hits on turn 2, if you arrive, basically makes it turn 3 for power from pain, which is incredible. So that's something I definitely recommend if you've got the spare 20 points, like I usually have. And other than that, from that really, that's how I would take it. I mean, it's like I say, cheap and cheerful, 60 points. You can tailor him to however you want to play. Out of all the HQ slots, he's definitely my recommendation out of all of them. The only downside to him is he's got no AP2 weapon. In previous edition, the Huskblade used to be AP2, now it's only AP3. So he's going to be struggling against things with artificial armour, Terminator armour, things like that really. But if he's got that Huskblade, all it takes is that 1 wound and that's it. That's game over for the person he's fighting, really. So yeah, that's my take on the Dark Eldar Archon. Okay, next on the HQ section, we've got the core to the Archon. I'll do them all individually, so the names, gear, stats and points. I'll tell you what I think of each one basically as we go through them. So we have the Lamian. She is weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 5, attacks 1, leadership 9, 5 up save. She is armed with carb light armour, so 5 up save, a splinter pistol, just like all Dark Eldar, a splinter pistol, but her save and grace is the Shamishi blade, which is pretty awesome from what I remember. Let's just have a quick double check. Yeah, the strength is as user, so she is strength 3. So it is melee, obviously, because it's a sword. Lethal dose, special roll. Lethal dose basically means any roll of a 6 to wound basically means the weapon has instant death, and it is poison 2+, so it is wounding everything on 2+. So them pesky race knights are toughness 8. I'm sorry mate, but they're wounding them on 2s. That goes the same for basically anything for Tyranids, so Carnifexes, Hive Tyrants, Trigons, Morlocks, everything like that. Avatars, Demons, that's wounding all of them on 2s. Her special rules are Fleet, like most Dark Eldar, Night Vision, like most Dark Eldar, and Power from Pain. She's also only 10 points. Now, for me, she's actually very, very good. She's only 10 points. She's basically the same as a witch. Exactly the same stats, apart from she has 1 less initiative, but she has 1 better leadership, and she does actually have a save. The only downside to her compared to a witch is a witch has a 4+ invulnerable save in the fight subphase. Between her and witches, they are exactly the same points. But for me, I can imagine a unit of Lamians being quite deadly. Now, the core of the Archon must consist between 1 and 12 models, following any combination. So you don't have to have one of each. You can actually have one of this multiples of the same one. I have seen somebody use 10 Lamians in one game, and it was amusing to say the least, really. They put the Lamians in a raider, so they were able to zip about the battlefield as quick as they want. Like I say, they have a 5+ save, so it's better than nothing. Obviously they won't get save against things like bolters and things like that, but if you're playing Dark Eldar and you're expecting to have good saves, you shouldn't be playing Dark Eldar. Their biggest bonus will come from power and from pain. From turn 2, they'll get a 6+ feel no pain, and from turn 3 they'll get a 5+ feel no pain, depending on how you equip your army with certain buffers like homunculus or the animus vitae relic. But yeah, I've seen someone run with a unit of 10 Lamians in a raider, and it was just literally just zipping around the battlefield. He was playing Tyranids, and they were just wrecking face. They were just literally killing whatever they come into contact with. So you've got 10 Lamians, 100 points, a raider, 55 points. So for 155 points, you've got a unit that can go around and hold its own in combat, really. I personally haven't got any Lamians yet. I will do eventually. The only downside to the Lamians in my eyes is there's only one model. Don't get me wrong, the model itself is very, very nice model, but it's just very static. I mean, I don't think I could have that 10 times in my army. I'll probably do something different with it when I actually decide on how I go about using what models to use. I will put it on the channel and let people know how I've done it and what I intend on doing. I've got a vague idea, but I won't go into that yet. Okay, next is the Laurelghoul, which is weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 0, strength 4. So there's better strength than pretty much all the Dark Eldar in here. It is toughness 3, 1 wound, a 5+ initiative, 3 attacks, a leadership of 3 and 0 save. It is got 0 war gear, but it causes fear. It has feel no pain straight off the bat, so that's always quite cool. Having a 5+ feel no pain makes up for the fact it doesn't have a save. It has fleet like most Dark Eldar, and has furious charge as well. So that's going to be strength 5 on the charge, which is quite nice. But the only problem I have with that is that all Dark Eldar will be having feel no pain and furious charge by turn, at the most turn 4. So it is how much is it as well? 15 points. So it's 15 points. So it's got no save, and it's got 1 wound. It's only toughness 3. I still think the Lamians would be a better choice, because either way you won't be able to charge first turn anyway, because there's nothing in the 40k that can get in combat first turn unless you're playing Blood Angels and the dirty drop rule with Storm Ravens. But other than that, you can't be in combat first, so that means you're in combat second turn. So you're at least going to have a 6+ feel no pain. But like I say, unless if you combine them with something else, it could easily get up to 5+ by turn 2, easy. So the Laurelghoul probably wouldn't be my choice, but I can understand why certain people would use them. Next we'll do the Medusa. Medusas are weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 5, 1 attack, leadership 9, 5+ save. It's exactly the same as a Lamian, basically, exactly the same as normal Dark Eldar. It's armed with carbonite armour, which is a 5+ save as standard, and it also has the eye burst as well. Now, the eye burst is what page is that? Let's have a look. See, probably one of the best like template weapons for Dark Eldar in my eyes. Pardon the pun. I think it is strength 4. Yeah, strength 4, AP 3, template assault 1. Now, the Medusas are 25 points, so they are a bit pricey, but how I've run them before and how I've run them with my Archon, basically these Medusa are attached to my throwaway Archon. I run with 4 Medusa, 1 Archon in a Venom, no upgrades on the Venom. So they deep strike in with the Archon because of his webway portal. They don't scatter, they disembark, and they just basically template whatever they want, whatever's been annoying you over the past so many times you've played your opponent, or whatever you think is going to be a pain, because obviously they're turning up on turn 2 anyway because they're deep striking. I've had them turn up and kill a unit of 10 Blood Angel Death Company with assault packs, power weapons, power fists, all sorts. That's something that was basically not very nice for me, and they literally just turned up, deep struck, and completely wiped out the entire unit. And I felt a bit horrible doing it, but I felt good because I didn't have to worry about it then. Like I say, they are 25 points, so I was looking at 100 points for the Medusa, 55 points for the Venom, that's 155 points. Then I've got the Archon as well, which is 60 points, so that's 215 points just for that unit. But it literally turns up and kills whatever you want it to kill. Marines, Chaos, Orcs, it just turns up and wrecks face, really. So it's probably one of my favourite choices, really, for the Court of Archon. Right, the other one, the final one, is this, I might be pronouncing all these right, it's a Silith, which is weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 5. It's got 2 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 3, and a save of 5+. So on with Carbonite armour, 5 up save as usual. Has a Shredder carbine. Now, if memory serves right, that is a range of 18, I believe. Oops, that's right. Hang on, I've lost the page now. Why would I do that? Yeah, it is. Yeah, range of 18. Is strength 1, AP 5, but it is assault 3 and poison 4 up. So it's basically the same as all your normal splinter weapons, apart from it's assault 3. Which is really handy. It has a splinter pistol, so I imagine it can shoot twice. So the splinter pistol will be range 12, strength 1, AP 5, pistol, poison 4 up, and it's got a close combat weapon. So because it's got a pistol close combat weapon, it's going to get a +1 attack anyway. So it's going to be up to 4 attacks. On the charge, it's going to be 5 attacks. So that's always quite nice. Its special rules are feel no pain. So straight off the bat, it's going to get its 5+ feel no pain. As well as its 5+ save, which is pretty cool. It's got fleet as well to help it move across the board, but you want to be putting it in the transport anyway. But it's able to, at least it's got fleet, so it can re-roll its charge distances. Now this Silith is probably going to be my second favourite choice, really, for the Court of Archon, because he's got 2 wounds, he's toughness 5, and he's got 5+ feel no pain straight off the bat, so he's basically going to be the tank of your unit. Now, it doesn't actually state anywhere that he's bulky at all, even though he's on a larger base compared to everybody else. The model itself is bigger, it's got more than 1 wound. It doesn't actually state anywhere that he's bulky, so I imagine he's only going to take up 1 position in a transport. So you could take 10 straight off the bat in a raider, which is equivalent to 20, because obviously they've got 2 wounds each, and they're all strength 5 as well. The only downside is they don't come with power from pain, so they don't get the furious charge to make them strength 6, which would be really nice. And obviously they're only leadership 3, so you won't be able to make them fearless. The only way you're going to do that is by taking 9 and putting a character in there. But you don't. The common misconception that people have is because it's called the Court of Archon, you have to put your Archon with them. You don't. They don't even take up a force organisation chart, so you can just have them in your force and not even have to worry about pairing them up with a HQ or them taking up a HQ slot. They're basically a free choice. Obviously, you still have to pay the points, but nevertheless, the Court of Archon is a very viable consideration that most Dark Eldar players should consider. there is some very strong choices in there. Like I say, the Lamian, she's only 10 points. She's pretty much the same as a witch without the save, but better equipment. The Medusa's just got an awesome template weapon. So taking out things with deep striking, taking out things that are hiding in bunkers, just completely wrecking them. The Silith, again, is a strong combat choice. 2 wounds, toughness 5, feel no pain straight off the bat. So that my recommendation for that would be Medusa top. Then it's a bit of a toss-up between the Lamian and the Silith, but the Laurelghoul would be my least choice out of all that. But like I say, if people have got recommendations or things that they've used, things that they've seen, feel free to comment on them. So we shall move on to the next one soon. Okay, next we're going to have the Succubus. She comes in at 75 points. She is weapon skill 8, sorry, what we're looking at. Ballistic skill 6, strength 3, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 8, 4 attacks, leadership 9 with a 6+ save. War gear, she comes with a witch suit, which is basically a 6+ save. A splint pistol, normal splint pistol, close combat weapon, plasma grenades. She has combat drugs. My opinion on combat drugs is I really like them, but they're far too random. It's about 50-50 for good combat drugs and bad combat drugs. I'm a bit unsure really. If you roll well, I mean, +1 toughness on a Succubus would be brilliant. +1 strength would be really good as well. But things like +1 leadership, she doesn't really need to be leadership 10. +1 weapon skill, she doesn't really need to be weapon skill 9 in my eyes really. +1 initiative I think is another one as well. She's already initiative 8. I don't know why she'd want to be +1 initiative as well. So like I say, it's 50-50 really. There's good ones and there's bad ones, but as long as you roll the right one, she can be really, really deadly. Back to normal. She's an independent character, like all HQ choices. She's got fleet, night vision, and like all Dark Eldar, or majority of Dark Eldar, power from pain. She has dodge, which basically means she has a 4+ invulnerable save against wounds inflicted in the fight sub-phase. So that is literally as soon as you're in combat, she gets a 4+ invulnerable save. Now, kitting her out, basically there's a few ways to kit her out. I mean, I always think of her as like a scalpel, obviously a doctor's tool, a scalpel. You definitely want to be giving her the archaic glaive, which is 20 points, and she will be killing a lot of stuff really. Let's have a look here. The archaic glaive can be used in 2 ways. It can be strength as a user at AP3 melee, so that's pretty good for killing marines. Or if she wants to start hitting the harder stuff, she can use it double-handed, so she gets +1 strength, which shows she's strength 4. With combat drugs she'll be strength 5, which is brilliant, and then if she gets furious charge, that's strength 6, that's even better. But if she doesn't get any of that, she's +1 strength. She's AP2, so it's I think it's the only melee weapon that's AP2 as well in the Dark Eldar book. But it is classed as 2-handed, so she doesn't get the extra attack for having a pistol in her other hand. The other options are to give her a splint pistol, or to change her splint pistol with a blast pistol. If you're giving her the glaive, I wouldn't bother, because there's no point. AY grenades are probably a must, really, because she's going to be charging up the battlefield, or she's going to be flying up the battlefield in a raider. She's going to be near vehicles. You might as well give her the ability to hurt vehicles. So it's only 5 points. And a webway portal. Webway portal could be taken if she needs it, or if you want her to basically deep strike. Excuse me. Yeah, the reason why I keep coughing is because I've got a cold at the minute. And then she can take melee weapons, witch cult weapons, and artifacts of cruelty. Now, the melee weapons, power sword, agonizer. If she's having the glaive, there's no point in even looking at them. And to be honest, the witch cult weapons, I would only use the witch cult weapons for maybe the Hecatrix for your witches, but even then, I would never even consider giving them to a Succubus. They are cheap, but I would rather definitely take the glaive, because if you're taking a succubus, you want it to be able to kill stuff easy and quick. The glaive is the best way to go. The artifacts of cruelty, you could take, I don't know, you could take a couple. You could take, there's one or two good choices, sorry. The armor of misery is a good choice. So let me just remind myself about that. Yeah, it basically gives her a 4+ armor save, which is better than what she's got. A 6+ invulnerable save, which she doesn't need because she's already got a 4+ invulnerable save in combat, but at least she gets a 6+ invulnerable save against shooting, so at least it's better than nothing. She also causes fear, which is really nice. But all enemy units within 6 inches of her suffer -2 to leadership. So if you're charging a unit of Marines that have got a sergeant at leadership 9, they're going to be leadership 7, and they must take a fear test, and if they fail that, they're only weapon skill 1, so they'll be hitting you and all your witches on 5s, so that's always quite nice. Animus Vitae, I've said that before, I mean that could be something really handy to have, because she's getting up close anyway, she could use it. The Helmet of Spite, if she's getting close and your opponent's got psychers, that could be quite handy. But me personally, I wouldn't bother. Maybe the Armour of Misery if you've got spare points, but I think just her with the glaive is just deadly enough in my own eyes. The downside to it is the only vulnerable save she has is when she's in combat. Yeah, that could be a problem against shooty armies really, if you're against Tau or Guard or Eldar and things like that, so you've got to actually charge to get into combat. That save doesn't take into effect until until you're actually in combat, so the best way to protect her is by putting her in a unit of either Silith or Grotesques or things that are high toughness, multi-wounds. I have got a Succubus, and basically how I would kit her out is just as she is with a glaive and haywire grenade. Plain and simple really. I think that's the best way to go for her. So yeah, that's what I think about her.